The Chiefs have failed miserably this season. Let's talk about that. Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. Hope everybody got a few hours of shut-eye after that beat down last night. That was a letdown, I guess you could say. Real sad, Mike. Real sad. We're in a bad place mentally. That's all we have to talk about, right? But anyway, guys, before we get started, I just want to shout out the sponsor of today's episode, DraftKings.
The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, which is the best place to bet those touchdowns. DraftKings has industry-leading live betting market availability, which feature dynamic odds that move with the game and more open live betting markets more often. So get in on the action and sign up using our promo code ACU right now. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Download it. Use the promo code ACU. Appreciate you guys for being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button. Let's get some people in here. Have a little discussion. We asked everyone about their comments, questions, concerns going forward, which at this point, it's almost a moot point. But hey, Mike, we did it, and we have a few. How are you doing this morning?
Early. Yeah, it sucks.
It's noon, baby. Wake
Don't
up.
care. I'm in a depression. I'm in a depression because this team has literally sucked the joy out of my life. For 13 weeks. Like, look, everybody on this team's getting coal in their stocking.
And not the kind they get horny about.
Yeah, not that kind. Not the horny kind. The little kind that you like cook hamburgers and stuff on.
Charcoal?
Yeah, you're getting charcoal, bro.
That's freaking awesome.
Well, man,
wild night. Such a weird game after the entire season. It was so weird to see them come out on the defensive side of the football with like so much fire and like actually getting the job done. But it was like, hey, this is welcome. But everything else was just a culmination of everything that bad that has happened this season, right? I mean, if you can name something bad that happened this year at any given time, you can throw it all into this game.
It happened. It happened last night.
Right. Like Harrison Butker couldn't kick a field goal, which is here he'd been on, weeks, improvement from that. And it came back. And then you have Patrick Mahomes throwing for 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 of which were batted balls up in the air. The same old shit. Andy Reid not running the football from under center, not running it enough, not running it at the right times. Poor routes that he had these guys running out there as far as the receivers go. Just everything that was bad all season long reared its ugly head. Even bad calls, even terrible officiating showed its face. So, I mean, literally, it was all of it, all in a nutshell last night.
You know what I found great today? You wake up, you turn on X, and you see this. Patrick Mahomes, the first quarterback to finish with no TD passes since Tyler Palco in 2011. Like, do you think Mahomes wanted to wake up and see himself on a graphic compared to Tyler Palco today?
I would call Travis Kelce right now and say,
the funny thing is
Travis
is Patrick Mahomes was not even the problem last night.
No,
but he gets to sit on here and get completely destroyed by every idiot, every non-football knower, and now we get to go back and dig up graphics to try to compare him to Tyler Palco. And this is done by the NFL. This is the NFL, and you're telling me they don't have a hit job out for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know about it, baby. Devin, been a member for 12 months now, is finally catching a live for the first time ever today. Life is good. Hey, I love the positivity, Devin, and I'm glad that you could join us this morning. This is not our usual live stream, but it's on Mondays. We normally do the little Q&A, but glad you guys could show up. That's freaking awesome. We got JL in here, became a member. Welcome to the crew, baby. Then we got our boy Tony in the house. Tony Bone says, I still believe we make it in. That's some positivity, brother. I don't know if I have any left in me. Like Mike said, I think they've sucked the life out of me at Christmas time, the most magical time of the year.
Look, let's be completely honest. At this point, if this team was to fall ass backwards into a playoff spot. Are they going to do anything?
They're going to poop on it. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're probably going to look at it and drop it. That's probably what they're going to do. But I'll say this: they do have a chance if. What is it? I think if the Chargers lose 3 out of their last 5, and
I had a graphic to bring up, and you know what? I could probably find it real quick.
and I
I'll bring
think
that up
the
in a minute.
Colts
Let's
have
talk
to
about
lose
that.
2.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. 3-putt with a gifted membership. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much. If you got that membership, thank him in the chat. Also, Jay Kelsey, been a member for 26 months now. Says, I wonder who the first coach is that's fired. It's going to be interesting, I suppose. And then Damo, been a member for 17 months now. Says 2025 Chiefs season is like slipping on ice, getting back up, and busting your ass all over again. It's just been exhausting, brother. But yeah, Jay, as far as coaches getting fired, somebody got to go.
Ain't going to be nobody off this team. It's going to be who's the first coach getting fired? I don't know. The Bucks defensive coordinator? I don't know. It ain't going to be nobody off the Chiefs. This is the most stubborn ass front office you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But before we get, I wanted to talk about that playoff scenario just because it's so ridiculous. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Mike, let's go ahead and get to some of the questions, comments, and concerns from Chiefs Kingdom last night. We posted on our YouTube channel and asked everybody, hey, what you got? What you got for us after this one? And I will say that out of the entire season, this was the lowest interaction that we got. So that should tell you something.
Everybody quit. They don't care.
I think everybody is over it. They're done. And, you know, the fandom, I have to say Chiefs Kingdom, first of all, partially Chiefs Kingdom's fault. I think they put bad juju in the air because everyone gave up on the team after the Super Bowl. A lot of people didn't come back this season. A lot of people were not paying attention this season. It wasn't the usual. It was just a bad feel from the get-go, and I think that carried over. And then the guys that are hardcore and stuck with it and talked about it every day and, you know, cheered this team on every game, I think they're just about over it, brother. I think they're all exhausted. I think they're just tired. It's like, how much more do you have left to give when you're not getting nothing back?
Before you bring this up, being a Chiefs fan this year is like being in just the worst, most abusive relationship you could think of.
It's toxic as hell.
Like they just kick the crap out of you all the time, and we just keep coming back. And it's like, dude, we got to get out of here.
It's toxic as hell, man.
It's horrible.
We need to go on Dr. Phil and see if he can fix it. You think?
God.
All right,
know.
man.
Ain't no fixing it, man.
We got a girl, Melinda, in here. Says, can we talk about the disconnect between Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo? The amount of money we had sitting on the bench and lack of use of drafted players is crazy. Last year, it poked its head out with Josh Uche and DeAndre Hopkins signing. But this year, it took on a life of its own. Appreciate you, Melinda. Thanks for being a member, by the way. Yeah, dude, there's definitely a disconnect. And we talked about this on the post-game stream last night, Mike, but this has been a coaching failure. Well, let's just say this has been a Chiefs organization failure from top to bottom. Because, I mean, just the offseason, free agency, the trade deadline. I mean, you can talk about a bunch of things with Brett Veach. And then Andy Reid, of course, good Lord. We don't even have to go any further. Andy Reid was head honcho of suck this year, and the rest of his coaching staff followed suit. And it's just been bad, brother, from top to bottom. A lot of disconnect. A lot of players that never saw the field that I feel like maybe should have. I mean, the fact that Noah Williams played so well last night, and we've been watching Chamari Connor get cooked all year long, and just it's crazy, some of the personnel decisions that were made. And, yeah, just bad.
Dude, I can't name a single coach or a single facet of the coaching staff that had a good positive year. Name one.
There's not
like
one.
if everybody if you look at every single, like running backs, for example,
No.
Kareem Hunt, he was pretty solid. Pacheco did his same old stuff. He has not developed at all. He runs up the back of every offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Andy Heck has been horrible. He can't develop anybody hardly at all. You had your number one draft pick have to leave for 4 weeks in the middle of a season. Then he comes back and gets injured right in crunch time. Trey Smith gets the most ginormous contract you've ever seen in the history of guards, and then he's pretty much injured all year long. Jawan Taylor, let's not talk about that contract 2 or 3 years ago. He finally started to fix himself, and then he gets injured. Like, it's been crap across the board, to the receivers, to whoever else, to the draft. We draft Jalen Royals, to the team doctors who couldn't get Jalen Royals freaking tendonitis or whatever he had. He literally takes off
Right.
6 months over something that a Tylenol could fix.
It's weird that he never saw the field really.
Dude,
at
that's
all.
what I'm saying. Like, every single facet of this entire team has been a failure this year. It's like they all got a memo and they said everybody must tank the entire season. Send your staff home. Don't sweep and mop the floors at night in Arrowhead. Don't do anything. Don't even serve people food on game day.
Don't make any popcorn. Don't make any nachos.
Right. It's like everybody just
Throw the
I'm
beer in
surprised
the trash.
I'm surprised they cut the grass at Arrowhead. I'm surprised we wasn't playing in knee-high grass yesterday
Pretty
with
wild.
no paint on it.
Pretty wild. Anyway, let's move forward. Cheeseaholic says, why is the offense so damn bad? Why is the offense so damn bad? That's $1 million question. I mean, is there really even one answer to that other than, I think you have to start with Andy, right? I mean, the scheme itself is awful. Just awful. I don't think the players buy into it anymore. The routes are terrible. The ratio of run to pass is awful. I mean, there's just so much of it that's bad. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. How long do you have to sit here? It's horrible. There were certain routes on like 4th down where like we didn't even send any wide receivers to the sticks. They just go and stop a yard short and everybody turned around. I'm talking like an entire route combination with 4 wide receivers on the field.
Mike, we've
And they
been
all
seeing
run the
that for
exact same
years
thing.
too. We've seen the same thing for years, brother.
There were other plays where they literally come out and they group a little trips right, and one goes straight and one cuts across the middle and one does a little out route, and they all ran it as if they were just disgusted to be playing the sport of football. Like, it was like Texas defenders just sat there and watched them do it, didn't even have to react, didn't have to use any athleticism, and literally just half-ass ran across the field right behind them.
Can we use a little bit of common sense here? I swear, if you have 4 wide receivers on the football field and a tight end all running routes, and even a running back on the one that you're talking about, and they all run 2 yards, turn the same way, and stand there, like, do you think anyone in that entire huddle bought into that play? Every one of them were like, this is bullshit. Let's go do this stupid play. Show Andy
Dude,
how dumb
that's what
it
it's
is.
been all year long.
You know what I mean?
You've
Like,
noticed,
no one bought into that.
to answer the question as bluntly as you can, the offense stinks because there is no offense. The Chiefs' offense for years has been, hey, Patrick, go bail us out on a really bad play.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, go bail us out on a really stupid play, and you guys just go play street ball when it breaks down. That's what it's become.
Yeah.
We have literally, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes has disguised this shit offense, this stale schemed offense that Andy Reid's put on the field for 3, 4, 5 years now. They have disguised it and made it look better than it is. And now that the playmakers aren't making plays, you see it firsthand.
Right. We got our boy Flapjack in here with the 5 bomb. Says, if we're being honest, this ain't been right for 2 years. And, you know, you could argue it's maybe been a little bit longer, but like the magic that Mahomes and Kelsey have been able to pull off that Mike was just talking about, it's gone. It's completely gone. They haven't been on the same page for 2 years. Last year, that was a problem. Luckily, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy kind of bailed them out last year. This year, I mean, that's the thing. Like, at some point, you were winning Super Bowls. You were winning more than any team in the history of football, you know, at a point in a small, you know, a small sample size of like, what, 7, 8, 9 seasons? I don't think anyone's had a run like that. And I think the problem is you were taking that success and you were riding it. And I don't think they ever really took the next step. They never really planned for that future. It was always, let's ride this out as far as it can go. Let's stretch it as thin as it
It's like
can
they were
get.
going on an epic road trip that had no end in sight. But they all said, you know what? We're not going to stop to get gas. We're just going to ride it to the
Let's
fumes
see how
fall.
far we can go.
Yeah, and then where did they get? They started in North Carolina and they got to about the tip of Missouri where St. Louis is. They run out of some fumes. You gotta get it together. Put some premium in that tank. Help Patrick Mahomes out a little bit. I bet he's tired. This dude's 31 years old. He looks like he's 80. He's literally hobbling around. This dude has give everything. He looks like Nosferatu out there before he got a little bit of blood in his system. Like, come on. What is going on?
They've turned Patrick Mahomes into a freaking Frankenstein, brother.
Dude, Kelsey, look at this guy. He's back to moving like he's 400 again. Did you see him going in the locker room last night?
I would too if I just botched the entire game like that, you know? Michael Daly, new member. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome to the crew. And then we got Daniel with the 5 bomb. Says, do you both honestly think there will be a change after this season? Hope the ownership will do the right thing. Andy Spags can stay. New voices needed. Daniel, I'm kind of right there with you. I think that's the only 2 coaches on the staff that I think are sort of untouchable. And should they be untouchable? Probably not, because they were both, you know, monumental failures this year as well. In their own right. But I think obviously Andy and Spags have earned some grace. I don't know if it extends to as bad as the season's been, but I think you have to give it to them. But everybody else is fair game. I mean, you could literally cut off the whole coaching staff and I wouldn't bat an eyelash. I wouldn't care.
Dude, it's I don't know what it is. Like, I keep going through phases. Like, every 5 minutes, I'm like, Andy should be fired. And then I'm like, it'll hit me. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, this dude's coming off the most monument, like, he's coming off a dynasty. You can't, like, overreact like that. And it's sort of like, if you think back about it, it's like, for example, if you look at, like, say, college basketball, go to, like, say, Tom Izzo. He's legendary, right? He has one bad season. Michigan State's not firing Tom Izzo.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have to put a big group together. And that's my thing. Like, Andy is kind of always had these same problems. What we seen last night was the reasons he got fired in Philly for.
Right, Mike, I would like to point out that if we're going to talk college basketball coach comparisons to Andy Reid, I think he falls more into something we're familiar with. Little John Calipari. Where he won't
he refuses to change.
He won't change. He won't move with the times. His stuff's not working no more. He won't stop. He's too stubborn. It's been a detriment to him at more than one team. He is John Calipari, and he's always has the right things to say, right? You know?
Yeah,
and
he's
likable.
Media darling.
Yeah, he's likable. Yeah, dude, he's very similar.
And he'll find a way to win. But good Lord, it's like pulling teeth watching it.
But yeah, I'm not giving up on old Andy yet. Love the old man. Just good grief, brother. Like, you got to learn your lessons. We got a 5 from Justin Flanders, our boy. He says, it's me. YT's annoying calling me 3-putt golf. But either way, I did recognize the picture, by the way. He says, why did we let Asa Bowl go in the offseason? This is something Melinda was talking about earlier. He is him. Some of these personnel decisions, they're so bad. You know, just the fact that they let him go. They let him go after, dude, everybody saw that during the offseason and in the preseason. Like, this kid is legit. He's literally been playing football since college. You know, he just started and he's already this good. Like, it's a big boy. He's getting the job done. Like, this kid's legit, and they let him walk, and they keep Wanye Morris. Brother, that's just one of the 15 terrible decisions.
This is the same coaching staff and the same group of evaluators that kept Lucas Niang around on the offensive line for 5 or 6 or 7 years.
Right.
And you thought Asa Pohl couldn't play football?
Yeah, dude. They do this. They do this. But no, the personnel decisions just, I mean, we touched on that a bit ago, but I mean, literally, let's take a look at the free agency market. What did we do? We went out and gave a bunch of money to a guy that's started one game, and he didn't even play but 8 plays that game before he was pulled with Christian Fulton. That was our big offseason signing.
He was another scratch yesterday.
Yeah.
Another scratch.
We allowed our pass rush to absolutely suck ass for an entire season. I mean, anyone at all, probably even the idiots that don't know anything about football that just scream about the Chiefs cheat all the time, they knew we needed a pass rush at the trade deadline, and just nothing done. Brett Veach was out there sniffing around a running back. Just
It doesn't
so,
matter what. Look, if
so
he
off the
was
mark.
sniffing around and trying to find a nice, like, what's he trying to find? He probably don't want to go out and spend money on a guy that has tight hips and they're asking him to play third down coverage and zone. Like he's
No,
going
he
out and trying to
should've
get
been-
some pass rushers.
That's what he should have done, but he didn't. He was out sniffing around a running back. That's what I'm saying.
He did it with Joshua Uche and nobody played him. He got Cam
Yeah.
Thomas before a season, couldn't even get on the field. Those two guys are both one of the highest win rate guys in the league this year.
Do you think that was probably the biggest reason why Brett Veach did not try harder to get pass rush this
That's
season?
exactly what I just said. Why
Yeah.
he's not going out and getting somebody when they won't play him. And then my point is you're not going to go out and lose draft capital for a guy that comes in and he's stiff in the hips and he's not even an athlete. Like you want to go out and give up a bunch of crap for another Mike Dana?
No, but I
Is
think
that what the solution was?
No, there were definitely some opportunities to get some people. You saw some guys move that were actually pretty decent. You saw some
But
guys
they
move
wouldn't
around.
have played here. That's my point. Spags wouldn't have used them here.
Yeah, I mean,
I
personnel
bet you it
decisions,
would have
right?
been he could have went out and got Kayvon Thibodeau at the deadline, and he wouldn't have played but 12 snaps yesterday in stupid situations. And then they'd have probably made him eat 10 cheeseburgers to try to stuff the run.
Can I point something out? Last night was the highest snap count for Ashton and Gelati, and our defensive line looked completely different. We had less O'Menihue, less Mike Dana, and our defensive line looked much better.
Wonder why.
Exactly. It makes no sense that they just literally beat their heads into a wall all season long, but whatever. Cole Dakin. I don't know how he wants me to say this, but he's got a 2-bomb here. It says we got to try to find a tight end. Kelsey's done with this BS. Yeah. I think we needed to find a tight end years ago. I think we whiffed on the draft with Trey McBride. We whiffed on Sam Laporta. We whiffed on guys last season, and we could have got a handful. So it's like,
We whiffed in free agency.
yeah,
We talked about bringing in Mike Gesicki in here and what he could have done for the offense, and instead we had a bunch of people wanting to draft what was his name, Cortland Loveland or whatever his name was out of Michigan. Like he was going to be the
Colton
greatest
Loveland, I
guy in
think.
the world, Colton Loveland. And it's like, dude, Mike Gesicki literally has played in the league and been successful, and you
Yeah.
could have brought him in for nothing,
yeah.
and we
The
didn't
Bengals
even
did
give
it.
him a look.
And he's been scoring touchdowns. Been looking like a respectable tight end out there,
But you know what? We probably give Jody Fortson a tryout again for the 14,000th time.
Yeah, they definitely missed the mark on that. They were way behind on that. They should have drafted somebody years ago. I mean, to be quite honest about it. Appreciate the 2. Holly with the 5 says, no matter what, we're still here. ACU forever. Chiefs Kingdom for life. Love y'all. Absolutely, Holly. We can be depressed about it and sulking a little bit, but we're all still hardcore Chiefs fans. So it is what it is. You gotta take the bad with the good. JCP letting the boy watch with 2-bomb says Matt Nagy got to go get someone else. I think that honestly, I think he's going to be the one, and I'm okay with it. And it's not for the reasons that people think, like, oh, Matt Nagy's the reason why we suck. I don't think that he's why, but I do think that we've got to, first of all, make some kind of a statement by firing someone. And then on top of that, I think we do need fresh blood at the offensive coordinator position. Somebody different, somebody that's not so buddy-buddy, rubbing elbows with Andy, somebody that'll push back a little bit. Mike, we talked about this before this season. We were like, dude, how nice would it – we were talking about Cliff Kingsbury a couple years ago. He ends up in Washington calling plays. We were talking about Liam Cohen. Of course, he ends up getting a head coaching job in Jacksonville and has them about to win the AFC South. It's like we need someone new. We need someone fresh to come in here with some different ideas and someone that can look Andy Reid in his face when they call a play last night with 4 receivers on the football field all running 2 yards and stopping and staring at the quarterback to be like, hey, Andy, that's the most bullshit thing I've ever seen. Let's not do that. Somebody's got to push back. So I'm right there with you, JCP. I think you go ahead and cut ties with him, and I would probably go ahead and get rid of Dave Tobe too, if it was me. I think Clark Hunt's probably on that same page, so let's hope we can see maybe both of them gone, get some fresh blood in here. Because let me tell you something, Andy Reid, as frustrating as he is, if Andy wasn't there and Dave Tobe was our head coach, it would be even worse. That guy's awful. He can't even coach special teams, so it's just go ahead. And you know what? Blameyer got to go with Nagy. Let's just go ahead and we got to take a big old chunk of them out. I think. Make a statement, and don't let Andy have any say in it.
I think when you go back and you give everybody look, the season's not over yet. They can still get in. We'll talk about that in a minute. You got to just win, and you've got everybody else in football's got to lose. I don't even know how it's possible, but
we'll talk about
somehow it'll be possible. But the point is, at the end of the year, when it's all said and done, and we're not going to be in the playoffs more than likely, we're going to be looking back. That means we get to get a jump on the off season.
Yay.
So, well, that's quicker to be able to start assessing new coaches, assessing players in the draft, looking at this roster. This roster's horrible. We've got to figure out a way to find the different turnovers. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to re-sign Trent McDuffie. There's tons of things you've got to look at. You've got to figure out how to get a pass rush at this point. There's tons of things you've got to look at, and you've got limited amount of money. So, I mean, you've got to start looking, and the coaches, everybody's got to be evaluated. And I can't think of a single coach, a single aspect whose group looked great this year. Like I said, Andy Heck has been horrible on the offensive line.
Right. Connor Ember's receivers haven't looked good. Joe Blameyer's passing game was ass.
Joe Collins' defensive line hasn't even looked good. Yeah. There's not even been
honestly,
a ton of players to look
I'd
great
say if
off
there's,
that.
I said earlier that Andy Reid and Spags are probably the ones that need grace, and they're probably the ones that are kind of untouchable. So somewhat, I think Dave Merritt's with him. Dave Merritt was given some crap, and I think he was kind of trumped on the whole Chamari Connor thing. Because if you go back to
look back at Dave Merritt though. We've talked about how great those draft picks and stuff have been. Where are they now?
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, we talked about this. If you go back to the offseason, Dave Merritt and Spags were kind of butting heads a little bit, even at pressers.
Well, okay, so I'm not just saying that he's the problem.
Right.
But I'm saying we looked back and we were talking about how Brett Veach was drafting all these corners, and we hit these corners. Where are they? Nick Jones don't play for this team. Josh Williams with a healthy scratch. Chamari Connor stinks.
Right.
Dude, look across the board. Najee Johnson don't even play on the roster anymore. You just keep
Jalen
going
Watson,
back and going back.
Jalen Watson
and
looked great.
Trent McDuffie, who was supposed to be a top 10 pick and somehow fell out of it.
But you also saw Brian Cook come back from that injury and actually looked really damn good this year. Jaden Hicks could play football.
In the third round.
Jaden Hicks could play football if they put him on the field. I'd probably keep Merritt around too. But we have to have a big discussion about personnel with Spags.
If you literally look at every little aspect, and that's even been one major one. What about the kid we drafted out of Tennessee? Didn't even make the cut. He's out. That's what I'm saying. You look back through it, and then you get these players like Noah Williams this year, and they're not even confident enough in their development to get them on the field quickly. But I thought that was the mark of what the corners did.
We had two corners over the last 2 years or 3 years that actually could have been developed into very good pieces that they just let go. Khalif Hallisey and Kamal Hadden. Of course, Kamal Hadden, I think they said, had some character concerns.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a jerk. More than likely, he probably said Chamari Connor sucks.
What cornerback isn't a jerk? I mean, honestly, let's talk about that for a second. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all being here. We'll get right back to the chat. We'll get right back to the questions that you guys had. But real quick, just want to take a second to shout out Zarda for sponsoring today's live stream. Do yourselves a favor. Get over to Zarda for lunch, baby. They got that $11 lunch. You need to get over there and check them out if you're in the Blue Springs or Lenexa area. And shout out our boy Ashton Gelati on the huge game last night. In honor of him, why don't you get over there and get you one of those KC takeaways? That thing is freaking delicious. You definitely want to do that. And if you don't want that, they got wings, baby. They'll take care of the wings. Best sauces in the game at Zarda. Get over there. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you their way. Mike, let's get back to the chat for just a second. We got, let's see, where did I give up? Boom. We got Shane, our boy, in the house with the 5. Says, the moment McDuffie got hurt, I was calling for the white flag. Take the loss and stay healthy. But no, we had to watch 4 quarters of shit. I will say this. I'll say this. I think that the game last night, if the defensive side of the football was the best game that I've watched all season long. 100%. Like, those guys had some intensity. You saw the defensive line getting after the quarterback. I think our defense looked great. I mean, everybody was form tackling well. Everybody was hitting hard. Speaking of hard hits, everyone's so horned up about that Jalen Petrie hit on Rashee Rice. That's textbook penalty. I don't necessarily like the rule, and I know you guys don't like the rule, but that was textbook. Lead with the head, hit helmet to helmet, knock somebody out. That is a flag, brother. And Jalen Petrie does this so regularly that he looks like an idiot wearing that Guardian cap because it protects him when he makes those hits. It's wild how, everything can kind of go full circle. But anyway, man, our defense flew around. They looked pretty good. The offense failed miserably. As you see in the title, the Chiefs have failed miserably all season long, man. But yeah, Shane, I thought they had a chance still. The way the guys were doing a respectable job on the offensive line, the way the defense stepped up, I thought maybe they could get it done. But it wasn't any of that stuff. It was none of the excuses that Chiefs fans have used for years where it was like, oh, the defense ain't stopping nobody, or, oh, offensive line sucks. It was literally last night. It was our stars and our coaches. I think Collinsworth is a dumbass, but he said it kind of perfectly last night when he said the same people that have made the Chiefs so great, for 8+ years are the same exact people that made the Chiefs suck this season. Like, they are the reason why they're bad. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. Tony Bone with the 5 says, I fell asleep on the Chiefs game last night. They were so bad. It's offense, brother. I'm telling you. Every time they got the ball, it was just like, what are they going to screw up now? The only thing you could hope for last night, and I think you noticed that, was a chunk plays. Like, the offensive line was giving Patrick Mahomes a little bit of time, so you were kind of hoping somebody could just get open downfield. And, it did happen a few times with Hollywood Brown, but then you saw where Patrick was a little off platform and underthrew him, and it caused an interception, which wasn't a catch, by the way. But, I mean, not that it would have mattered. It's just, I don't know. It was bad. At least you got a good nap in, Tony. Like Mike's doing right now. He gave up on life. What are you reading over there?
I was just waiting for a chance to jump in. I kind of wanted to get back and talk about what Shane was talking about, and you just
go ahead.
Went on to the next.
I didn't think there was much to talk about there.
Well, he mentioned McDuffie and thought the game was over, but I think Noah Williams stepped in pretty well, honestly. I thought Noah Williams played very well yesterday, and if it took a McDuffie injury to get to see him, then so be it. Like, you got to do something to shake it up. Noah Williams played the most coverage snaps he'd ever played yesterday with 34. And he had to be one of the better rate corners on the. He'll be one of the better rate corners on the entire weekend probably. He only give up 3 catches on 6 targets, and he was pretty much going against Nico Collins all night, and only give up 66 yards, and 43 of those was after the catch on one. And I think he was just the closest one to him on his own play. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he was pretty good, pretty solid. I don't think McDuffie going out really hurt the team. Like, I know it did. You got to have that. But I think you've seen in the third quarter, if you just have a pass rush, you can have just about anybody you want playing quarter. You've seen it. Because C.J. Stroud didn't even have time to get the ball anywhere. He was just tossing it out of bounds, throwing it 10 miles over a receiver's head because he had somebody up his ass. Right. That's what I'm saying. Pass rush wins games, not corners. And I think that what you've seen without Trent McDuffie last night is a very good indication that you may not need Trent McDuffie going forward, at least for the amount of money he's going to cost.
Right. Well, it also showed me that was a coaching failure across the board, because Trent McDuffie could have been playing majority nickel corner all season long. Yeah.
You could have had Watson and Noah Williams playing on the outside, and McDuffie, and you probably shouldn't have gave Fulton $20 million for 2 years when he plays one. What's he played all year? 12 snaps?
If that.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Mike, we got a 20 bomb from Donna. Says the Chiefs have been shook up since they lost the Super Bowl. Then they lost all 3 preseason games, then lost the first 2 season games. I was hoping they worked out their issues, but nope, same shit, different game. Yeah, man, I honestly don't think that team ever bounced back. The Super Bowl performance was completely lackluster, terrible, awful, no heart. They didn't even show up to it. And it kind of carried over, didn't it? It kind of just carried over. And, you know, like I mentioned earlier, that was from the fan base all the way to the very top of the tippity top of the mountain. I think everybody just didn't show back up this season. And it's been just, you know, whatever. You know, all the Eagles fans that like to get in chat be like, "We broke the Chiefs, we broke them," and it's like, maybe you were right, maybe you did break them, but I think they were already busted at the seams, brother. It didn't take much. All I had to do was poke it a little bit.
Dude, we've had several fans from other teams come over, and there's been a lot of slap nuts taking their victory laps. Cool. And the funny thing is half of them, their own team's not even good. But we've had a few really sensible comments, and it blew my mind that there was actually some Denver Broncos fans that come over and wasn't a complete slap nut. But what we were hearing and what they were saying, and a 49ers fan even said the same thing. They were like, watching this team, like your star players and your team just looks like worn out. They look just tired. They look beat down by not just playing football and playing the most football, but constantly playing in the limelight, constantly playing on your primetime games, constantly having to go 40,000 miles, you know, overseas to play, constantly playing on Thanksgiving and every holiday and Christmas. It's tiring. It's like we've become a circus act. The NFL allowed the Chiefs to become a freaking circus act, and their main performers are tired. We're like the elephants that are tired of the circus, you know? And then they're out here poking, prodding us, and what are they going to do, put us down? It's almost like that's what they've done.
Well, after they did this, though, and everybody got tired of the Chiefs winning and tired of the Chiefs being in the limelight, everyone turned on the Chiefs, and the NFL kind of played right into it.
Yeah, they kept us back in the limelight, and then they made our downfall public, and they made a spectacle out of it. They were like, look, this year we're going to put the most brutal schedule on them. Mm-hmm. We're putting them in prime time. We're putting them on every holiday. Even when we asked if we could have every Christmas, they publicly said, no, we don't want it, and then turned around and give us the Christmas game.
Right.
So just to make a point that we didn't get what we wanted, but then they give us what they wanted.
Right.
Which is
and
the
I
Chiefs.
think that it's been clear all season long that they have been making an emphasis that the Chiefs don't get the calls by making egregious calls against the Chiefs.
This is what they've done this year. They've allowed every fan that bitched and moaned for 3 or 4 years. They have publicly put the Chiefs on every single thing and done what they've done because they've allowed everybody to come back and have a nice little hate watch every week.
Yeah.
And it's given them.
Yeah, the ratings are high, right?
Yeah, it's given them their soul back. All these people that thought it was rigged, and they really believe that, but yet they watched it. You know, it was rigged. But now they have faith in the NFL because, boy, they can screw the Chiefs over when they want.
Absolutely. Mike, speaking of slap nuts taking victory laps, we had this D-bag in our comments. Said, y'all not making the playoffs. If you take a further examination here, this is a Detroit Lions fan, ladies and gentlemen. So a guy that's a fan of a team that has missed the playoff a record 77 times and only has a 30% chance of making the playoffs this season.
Yeah, the Athletics is like 36%.
Is overtaking a victory lap in our comments, brother. I mean, that's where we're at here. And you know what? The NFL, they will appease that man. They'll be like, you know what? You're right.
Also, if you put prods at the end of it, put 2 Z's, we know you're a real producer of Jahmyr Gibbs highlights.
Right. Brother Raven says, just saw the LA Chargers schedule. The Chiefs still have a 12% chance because of the Chargers. Let's talk about that for a second.
I think that they're a little higher. I was hearing they're like a 16, 17% chance.
I don't know. But we'll get back to the chat in a second, guys. So hang in there. We'll get to your stuff. Especially any kind of super chats, we'll definitely get to every one of you guys, so don't worry. But while we're on that subject, let's hop on over to this real quick. We got this graphic courtesy of Starcade Media, and it was a nice little play I thought they did here. They got Mahomes as the Grinch, and it says how the Chiefs stole a playoff spot. And this is how the Chiefs can still get into the playoffs. Guys, this is wild. So hear me out. The Chargers have to lose 3 of their last 4 games. 3 of their last 5, I suppose.
Yeah, because they play tonight.
They play tonight. So the Chargers have to lose 3. One of the games that they lose has to be the Denver game, which is going to be Denver probably not playing their starters.
But it very well could be if Denver has to play for a 1 seed.
I don't think they're going to have to. I just don't see it. They're literally like 11-2. They've
So
played
why
nobody.
do they? Okay, look. Let me ask you this question: why, if they have to lose 3 games out of 5, why do one of them have to be to the Broncos?
I don't know, but that was part of the plan here.
Because the Broncos have nothing to do with us. Like we're not catching the Broncos.
I'm assuming that would give the Chargers a chance to catch the Broncos if the Chargers win and the Broncos lose. But I mean, I think the Chargers are like 8-4 right now, and the Broncos are 11-2. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Kind
but
of
you
plays them
theoretically said that they have to lose all these games, which
Well,
means they're not even going to be close.
We
to
can
them.
bring up your little playoff simulator thing later and figure that out. But either way, the Chargers, we'll just put it this way. Chargers have to lose 3 of their last 5. And then the Colts have to lose, I think it's at least 2 more games.
I think the Colts losing 2 more with Daniel Jones being injured is almost a given. Knowing that they got to play
Right.
the Texans, the Seahawks, the Jags, and the 49ers, who have not played horribly.
Correct. And then there was one more caveat to this, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can find it real quick.
I mean, honestly, look, if the Eagles don't beat the Chargers tonight, you could just about put a cap, like put a fork in us there. Because I think the Eagles has to be one of these teams they got to drop. Obviously, they got to drop to us. So the Chargers have to lose to the Eagles and the Chiefs. Something tells me, I mean, the Cowboys game is at home for the Cowboys. So the NFL could do their work there. Who knows?
Right.
The Chargers go out to L.A. That's a tough defense, man. And if Herbert's not in top form, I mean, honestly, the Chargers could lose 4 out of their last 5.
And
I'll give them the Cowboys game, but I mean, dang, we've seen what can happen in Jerry's
The
world.
Colts are definitely losing 2 games, guys. They're literally playing the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Jaguars, and the Texans.
Yeah, I
They're
think the
losing 2.
Jags will beat them again, and probably the Texans beat them both, and then you got to beat the.
I wouldn't be surprised if
the
they lose all
NFC
4.
West.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I
surprised
wouldn't
if they lose all
either.
4. And then the Chargers, like you said, they got the Eagles, Chiefs, which obviously the Chiefs have to win, so let's go ahead and count that as a loss. And then they play the Cowboys at home, the Texans, and the Broncos. So, yeah.
So you're telling me if the Chargers lose, you said they got to lose at least 3, but one of them have to be the Broncos. So what happens if the Chargers just lose 4?
Brother, I don't know. I'm just reading what they wrote. We can do the
dude,
fact checking here in a little
Look,
while.
reading what they wrote, here's what we've learned. People are just, they're trying anything to keep people excited. And I mean, look, I seen some exciting football last night in the 3rd quarter from Chris Jones and George Karlaftis and our defense. But not one time did I see anything exciting out of our offense. And I'm telling you right now that a team centered around Patrick Mahomes and paying that much money to the offense can't put up points. It doesn't even matter if you go to the playoffs.
Yeah, dude.
You got to score a point.
Literally the name of the game, put points on the board, and you're supposed to be this dynamic offense.
Dude, we
with
put
the best
10
quarterback
points
ever.
up against the Texans at home.
That was rough. Our boy Justin says, anyone else worried that even though we will probably be higher in the draft, Veach hasn't got to pick this early yet? Does he mess it up somehow? Shout out for being a member for 19 months, by the way, Justin. Absolutely. I have no faith that, like a lot of people like, oh, let's just get a better draft pick and go on, move forward. I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket because I don't think that, I mean, what's the chances that we get anybody that's game changing? I mean, the best thing they've done in a long time was probably be able to get Joshua Simmons at pick 32. That was nice, but that was not necessarily like a genius pick. I mean, everybody, that was easy. I mean, no one took him. It kind of fell in our lap. You can go back to them trading up for Trent McDuffie. I think that was a good move.
That was pick 21, which
Yeah.
means that's essentially the highest pick Brett Veach has ever had. And I mean, he hit it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a no-brainer that you just trade up for Trent McDuffie. I don't know how Trent McDuffie got out of the top 10, honestly.
I tell you what, they need pass rush really bad, and I'll tell you how they can screw it up. And here's how they can screw it up. If they decide to go with a pass rusher and they also consult with Spags and do like I need this type of guy. I need this prototype.
Well, here's what I'll
blah,
say.
blah, blah. If they get
Spags is
some kind of turd, You know,
He's went away from that a little bit because if you look at what Spags usually likes, Ashton Gelati don't really fit the bill all that much.
Ashton looked great last night.
He's a little too short. He had a little. There's a few things off from what Spags usually likes, and Ashton Gelati, they went ahead and went with him.
Yep.
And so maybe he's changing that a little bit. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and like Sam points out here, they don't like to play our rookies. They won't give them a shot. I mean, Noah Williams could have been playing great all season. Ashton Gelati could have been playing great all season. Just
That's the
couldn't
thing.
get out
And if
there.
you would have played these guys earlier, if Brashard Smith, they still haven't let Brashard Smith get in any consistency. But if you'd have let him play, if you'd have let Noah Williams play a lot more, if you wouldn't have pulled all that dumb stuff with Nomar Orban Lott, I called him Nomar. Omar Norman Lott. If you wouldn't have pulled, man, I like the name Nomar actually. Nomar Garcia Parra.
You remember him?
That's what I thought of.
Yep.
But yeah, if you would have done all this, let Ashton Gelati play more, then this week that would have been a potential playoff caliber game, these guys would have been more polished. Who knows what you'd have got? Maybe Noah Williams don't even give up 66 yards. Maybe he gets a pick.
Right.
Maybe he's more comfortable. That's what I'm saying. The Chiefs are they just flat out shat the bed when it comes on. When it comes to like letting rookies get in the mix, they're just not good with it.
Yep. Man, a lot of you guys in the chat want to talk about trading Trent McDuffie. And
I think it's not crazy at this point.
It's no, not only is it not crazy, but I think we've got to the point to where the Chiefs themselves have made it to where it's almost impossible to keep Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, they chose George Karlaftis and
Trey
Nick
Smith
Bolton and Trey Smith.
Right. And, that's one thing. But another thing is, like, at this point, as bad as the Chiefs have been and as bad as it's going to be going forward and the holes that they left, just like the defensive line, and you almost don't have a choice here. You almost have to trade them away.
Yeah.
You almost have to. You've put yourself in that predicament.
Again, you seen it last night in the third quarter. It didn't matter who the DBs were. If you get a pass rush and get after a quarterback and the blitz is getting home and all kinds of stuff, and you're just super aggressive and you can get there and create disruption. CJ Stroud, it didn't matter who his receivers were. This dude's got Christian Kirk and Nico Collins and everybody out there, and he's just selling the ball 10 yards out of bounds because he don't even have time.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what I've always said. Pass rush is way more important than a corner.
Honestly, the roster that was on the field last night, as far as the defense goes, is great with the pass rush because Mike Edwards was playing ball hawk. Noah Williams was playing ball hawk. Jalen Watson was playing ball hawk. Like, those are the type of guys you want on the football field when you have the quarterback out there under pressure just chucking things up.
I think what you may find a lot cheaper and a lot more salvageable is if you could get Trent McDuffie and get somehow maybe a second-round pick out of this kid. If you could somehow get a second, I don't think you're going to get a first out of Trent McDuffie. Now, you could, but it's going to take somebody desperate. But if you could somehow just get a second-round pick, maybe something else, you could re-sign back Jalen Watson and let Noah Williams and those two just be shut down, and then maybe find yourself a good nickel corner.
It just depends on if the league has learned their lesson.
Yeah,
on
use your
overpaying.
investment to get your pass rush going.
It makes a difference. Like, if the league has learned their lesson on overpaying for corners, like after watching Sauce Gardner go down and not really do anything, maybe you have trouble hawking off Trent McDuffie for something good. But if there's still people out there that are just way overpaying corners and way overselling corners,
Somebody would do it.
You might be able to get a late first-round pick out of McDuffie possibly. If somebody really wants him.
Somebody could possibly do it.
Statistically, he's a top 3 corner in football since he's been in there.
And I know it's not popular. A lot of people is like, why would you give away a good player? He's our best player on defense. He is. He's absolutely the best player. But I don't know if we can afford it. And people's like, well, he might take a team-friendly deal of like $23, $25 million. I don't know if that's very team-friendly for us at this point. Like, we just don't have that. We don't routinely invest a lot in corners in the first place.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't see Brett Veach investing that much now. And again, I'm telling you, you had a very good opportunity. Our defense is not what lost that game last night. And Trent McDuffie didn't play but maybe, 5 minutes?
Right. And the only thing that McDuffie haters have to try to dunk on him is the Dallas game. And let's be honest here.
Well, you see Nico Collins beat him on the first route. So, again, he exposed his weakness is he can't cover those big X receivers, which means you can't pay him like a top tier corner.
I mean, even if you don't beat him on the route like Nico Collins did, you just shove him down and he can't do
Exactly.
much about it, right? Yep.
Love McDuffie, but I don't know if you can pay him like a top tier corner.
There's limitations.
He's more suited as a slot. He really is.
Now, is he a top corner in football? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's his weakness is big guys because he's small. He can be in their hip pocket and they're still going to be catching passes sometimes if they're placed perfectly, you know. And we saw that a lot. So, yeah.
And although he's done a little better by getting some picks and turnovers, he's still not that ball hawk kind. Like you throw to him 50 times a game and he may pick one off by accident if it falls in his lap.
Dude, it took him a year and a half to get a pick, I think.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not really the ball hawk kind. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he gives you good coverage, but again, he it's a nickel corner a lot. That's where he's his best at. We've seen that this year, and he can cover the outside, but I just don't think you give him that big corner money because, you know, Cortland Sutton shouldn't be beating you like that.
Right. Mike, Human Twist here says, what is causing this team to be so mediocre? Surely Matt Nagy is not enough to make Mahomes pedestrian and Reed having a losing record on a season. All of the talent is there except for that woeful O-line. Sad season. Human Twist, appreciate the comment. I don't understand the O-line hate. I'm just going to say that. There was a game or two there where it was sus, but, I mean, honestly, our offensive line was pretty good this year. I mean, Joshua Simmons, beast. Jalen Moore stepped in respectably. I mean, even when we had to go to Asapol last night, great game for Asapol. Mike Caliendo's had a bad season. Real bad. Like every time he had to step up, he's kind of got.
It feels like if he's going to play guard, he needs to play the left side because he's not suited to the right.
No, but I mean, honestly, our offensive line's not bad.
Was that a mistake?
That was a problem this year. What,
Steve? Was that a mistake? The whole trading Joe Tootie?
No. I don't think it would have made a difference. You could have had Kingsley over on the right side, but honestly, I don't think the offensive line was the big problem this season.
We can't really put Kingsley on the right side because you're going to have Trey Smith when he's healthy. They just give him a big contract. So,
well, I mean, Trey was out, but
but I'm just saying, like for the whole season, I don't know what you could have done there. Like if Kingsley was going to play, and Kingsley's been a good. I think Kingsley developed a lot this year. Like he's going to be a guard to watch out for the next few years.
I don't think
he
the
can be
O-line
Pro
was
Bowl caliber.
The O-line was not the problem this season. They weren't. I mean, there was a game or two.
Yeah,
where it was tough, but like I honestly think overall, I don't think that was.
Look, I'm with you. I don't think. Look, everybody wants to get rid of Matt Nagy, this and that, but I don't know how many times you can say it. Matt Nagy doesn't call these stupid plays.
Matt Nagy does need to go, though. I am on team. Go ahead and get rid of Matt Nagy, and the reason
I'm fine with it, but you can't
the
say
reason
it because of
is
his play calling.
It's not the play calling. He's not the reason to
call him.
No, but the fact that, like I said, he is way too comfortable with Andy. He's a yes man to Andy. They're buddies. They've rubbed elbows for years now. They're too comfortable. He's got to go. They need to get somebody in here that's going to look at Andy and be like, "Hey, those routes that you're running are dumb as hell. Like that's not going to work."
So
like,
Andy does all the hiring. You think he's going to hire somebody that comes in and tells him his routes suck?
He's not going to. Well, I mean, you gotta hope that they're not going to tell him that until they're already hired, brother.
They're not going to do that, dude. Andy Reid runs this franchise.
Who goes to a job interview and was like, "Hey, you suck at everything. I'm better."
That's called football.
Yeah,
when you hire a coaching staff, they hire their staff. The head coach hand chooses who he wants.
I understand.
You think you're just going to go hire some random dude off the street that's going to tell Andy Reid he sucks and then be like, "Hey, Andy, got your new coordinator."
You're missing the point, brother.
I ain't missing nothing.
The person coming in for the interview that's trying to get the job is not going to tell Andy shit until he's hired.
But you're taking a shot in the dark. You don't know that.
All you need is a younger guy with fresher views, fresher offensive ideas. That's it.
Maybe so. And then Andy looks at him and says, "I've been doing this since you were a baby. I think I know what I'm doing."
Right, but you continue to push back and you push back and you push back. I think Andy is kind of like blind to some of his own shit, but at the same time, I don't think Andy's unreasonable
At the end of the day, though, we don't sit in these meetings, okay? We don't. The fans don't. Everybody that offers up all the critiques of Matt Nagy and Andy Reid, anything to do with the play calling, even the whole entire suspicion we've had that he's a yes man and Bieniemy may have pushed back. We have no clue if that's true or not. For all we know, Matt Nagy could be the most annoying person in the world to Andy Reid, be like, these plays suck, and Andy just won't listen. Like, we don't know.
I don't see it, though.
I don't care if you see it, because you truly do not see it. So that's what I'm saying. We don't see it. So I don't know what fixes it.
No.
You know? You really don't know.
That's the thing. The only thing you can hope for is that Andy gets a little bit outside of the box. It's really on him. Like you said, he's hiring the guys, and a lot of times they like to stick with their own staff and everything. But, like, I think you need somebody to mix it up. You have to have someone to mix it up. It's got to be somebody different. Like I saw somebody mention in the chat, Mike McDaniel. Like, someone like that, someone that's different, just like a little, a little outside the box is what you need.
You want somebody to come in and have their own ideas, learn what Andy's doing, put a little twist on it, and want to learn from what Andy's doing and add it to what they've got going. But here's the thing. I just don't think Andy wants to do that. I think he's ran the same style of offense. And the only thing that's tweaked it over the past 8 years is just the fact that you got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has tweaked the offense, but nobody else has tweaked it. And so I just don't know if you're going to get that. I just don't think Andy's going to do it. Like, as long as Andy coaches, if he's got 5 years left to coach, you think he's going to come in and just change his entire philosophy for the next 5 years? I don't see it.
No, but I do think Andy would be open to ideas, and I think you need someone that'll pitch him new ideas. I don't think Matt Nagy does that.
So when Nagy gets fired, did they just bring up Connor Embry or Joe Blaber?
Exactly. You're going to get more of the same. You're going to get more of the same because they're just going to, dude. Okay, let me put it this way: like, if you work a 9-to-5 job, like, no matter how good you are at that job, eventually, if you can just do the same shit every day and do the least amount of work possible and just get by and still get paid, that's what you're going to do.
It's called silent quitting.
Right. And that's exactly what that coaching staff's doing. They just give the same old, like, here's a run-of-the-mill manufactured game plan that kind of fits the game tape to the team we're playing with our same shitty plays and our same stupid scheme, and Andy approves it and they go on. And that's what they do. They're just doing the same thing week after week. We got to have somebody that wants to get in there, that's hungry for winning, that wants to do something. And then I think Andy would be okay. Like if you had, let's just say, Cliff Kingsbury had came along over here. I think that if he brought good offensive schemes to Andy, even if they were a little bit outside of Andy's box, I think Andy'd be like, okay, I like it. Let's try it. I don't think Andy's opposed to that. But like I said, I think that it's too much of the same over and over and over again, you know?
Yeah, I'm just afraid if we do fire Nagy, they're just going to hire in-house. Or they're going to bring in who? The cat that got fired as the head coach of the Jaguars.
Right. Mike, I still can't get over this. I had to bring it back up. Like, they are literally taking shots at our boy.
Yeah.
They're trying to kick him. They're trying to kick him while he's down, son. Like, that's where we're at as Chiefs fans at this point in time. They're literally, I think, like, the most popular comment I've seen on the entire internet since the game ended last night was, "Don't ever put him in the same sentence as Tom Brady again." It's like, why? Tom Brady missed the playoffs. Tom Brady had really shitty games. To this point, at age 30, Patrick Mahomes is better. He's just better.
I kind of want to know. I want somebody to find this
season.
one. Patrick Mahomes may miss the playoffs this year. But again, in that game yesterday, Patrick Mahomes was not the problem. Yes, you could bring up that Tyler Palko stat, but I don't know if you could find a Tom Brady game, be it playoffs or a game where he lost, and you look at it and it's because of his receivers dropping 7 or 8 balls a game.
Right. Or just handing the team interceptions, which our receivers tend to do a lot. Like, boop, boop, here you go.
Right. Patrick did throw one, and there was a wide open Kareem Hunt down there that he could have dunked it down to. But honestly, it was a third down kind of throw, and it was just a straight punt.
He even said that in the situation, if it got intercepted, it didn't matter much, so I just threw it. He needed about 10 more yards on that, and it could have been a big play. But, I mean, it is what it is. Mike, we got a 5-bomb from Jaron. Says Jalen Watson will also not be cheap to re-sign. He's had a good year. Don't be surprised if he gets around $18 million per, middle of the pack in pay. Wouldn't doubt it, Jaron, and I think there's a lot of teams after. I don't know why I feel like the Ravens are going to be all over him. I thought the Colts were going to be a player, but after the Sauce Gardner debacle, I don't know if they will be. There are some teams that will want Jalen Watson. So, yeah, it's not going to be
right
cheap
now,
per se.
He's projected to make between 11 and 16 million annually.
So he could very well get 18, Jaron. Absolutely.
Somebody could overpay to 18. Yeah.
Yeah. Good call there. And that's something to think about too. But at this point, like, how much are you paying Trent McDuffie? What's top dollar right now?
People are saying 23 million if he takes a good deal.
I'd rather pay Jalen Watson at this point. And like, that's the thing. Like, I've been
You
harder
get
on
Jalen Watson for
I've been
15.
harder on Jalen Watson than anybody
Right.
from the get go.
If
And
you
I
can get
still
him for
feel
15 and McDuffie's lowest is 25, you're cutting off 10 mil a year.
yeah. Well, you have to do anything to save pennies these days. You know, the economy.
Yeah, who knows?
Actually, I don't even think it's that bad, brother. Everything's just so expensive. They're going to have to pay Trent McDuffie $25 million for him to get some milk and bread. Didn't you see where OBJ said that $100 million isn't enough money to live on nowadays?
Sure.
What a bunch of slap nuts. Guys, we appreciate you being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. We'd appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit that sub button, hang out with us more often. Guys, you can also join and be a member of the channel at join.allchievedup.com. It starts at $4.99 a month. Just a little subscription that you won't even notice coming out that old bank. You can get merchandise, merch.allchievedup.com. You can get the hoodie Mike's wearing. Be the most festive Chiefs fan at the party. You get this sweet hat I'm wearing right now. There's all kinds of good stuff over there. If you use the promo code Chiefsmith, you get 15% off everything in the store up to the end of the year. So go cash in on that. Also, shout out Zarda and DraftKings, baby. Go get yourself some Zarda. Also, download DraftKings. Use that promo code ACU. But thanks to them for sponsoring today's live stream. Yeah, guys, we'll be back with plenty of content for you this week, man. I guess the Chiefs aren't all the way out yet mathematically, but I mean, we've kind of given up at this point. Let's hope things can go their way for once
But
this
we
season.
do content
I mean, what's the chances here?
365.
It
So
never
it doesn't
stops.
matter.
Never stops,
It's just
baby.
It's going to It's just going to transition into roster building and fun stuff like that. So I mean,
guys.
if you were a Chiefs fan in the '90s before this run, this was our time to shine, baby.
Right. Not only are All Chiefed Up the best Chiefs channel during the season, but premier channel in the off season.
There is no draft content better.
You're not finding better.
Look, I'm going to
off-season
say
content.
that today.
I'm gonna say it right now. That's a fact.
More than a fact. Is there something better than a fact?
It is the word of God.
Put it on a tablet, etch it in stone, and give it to Moses. Okay.
Y'all have a good day.
Get wild.